Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit more short-term technical analysis on Bitcoin and this consolidation pattern that we've been talking about over the last 2 days, because in the last couple of videos, I've been talking about this pattern breaking either bullish or breaking bearish, and in today's video, we finally have our answer. Bitcoin broke both bullish and bearish, and then it broke bullish. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing that technical analysis, we're going to be discussing that chart, and we're going to be talking about why Bitcoin very much needs to continue going bullish here, because if Bitcoin starts going bearish and we don't get a little bit more bullish momentum than we've gotten so far, i.e. we see a larger move to the upside than we've seen so far, if we don't see that, it might be very bad for Bitcoin. We're going to be talking about why exactly that is later on in today's video, but I'm also going to be showing you some bullish technical indicators that are pointing in the favor of Bitcoin. I think we have a pretty good technical analysis video lined up for you guys today. So if you enjoyed today's video, definitely consider dropping a like, hitting that subscribe button, and before we dive on into it, there is one more video going up in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. You guys know I've been launching a new video every single day for the entire week. Today is Friday, and the 5th video of this batch of new videos is going live. It is a continuation of our how to set up and use Binance video, where we talk about pretty much everything you need to know about how to set up and use Binance, because, you know, that's the title of the video. And this video is a continuation of that, where I talk about some other things, namely depth charts and stop limit orders. People have a lot of confusion about these two items in Binance and on many exchanges, but they're actually not that complicated, but they are extremely useful. So I'm very happy with this video. If you guys are interested in joining the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy and seeing all of the content that we have to offer here, we have over 25 videos now. Actually, we have exactly 25 videos now, over 8.5 hours of content. If you're interested in jumping on in and learning about technical analysis and learning how to do technical analysis and everything related to technical analysis, there's a 20% off coupon code in the description down below until noon Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, that being Sunday. So go ahead and jump on in. It'll be a long time before another sale comes around, so you might want to go ahead and get in now if you've been thinking about joining. Anyway, guys, without much further ado, let's go ahead and get on into it. One thing I want to point out is that, you know how you're on here on the hourly chart? It's interesting that it says 60 right there instead of 1 hour, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's pretty interesting. Anyway, Bitcoin is currently trading around $3,879.99. We want to be precise here, 98 cents. And in yesterday's video, I want to show you exactly where yesterday's video was recorded. It was recorded right here, and then this happened. This gigantic, I'm not going to say what someone commented it was yesterday, but I think he said it was like a Darth Maul sword. This candlestick right here, this gigantic lopsided spinning top happened. That's what I'll call it. And I want to show you guys this on the minute chart. Let's go ahead to the minute chart and let's look at what happened here, because it's important to understand what happened here, because it led into what happened next. Bitcoin essentially broke very bullish. With the bulls try and push Bitcoin out of this consolidation pattern, moved to the upside. Bitcoin ran all the way to perfect resistance at $3,900 before rejecting and falling all the way down in the span of 4 minutes from $3,878 all the way down to $3,777. About a $100 move in the span of 4 minutes. Now, that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but 2.5% in 4 minutes, that's a very, very fast move. That is ridiculously fast. You don't see the market move that fast almost ever. Even in the 2017 Bitcoin bull run running up to $20,000, it wasn't moving that quickly. Very interesting stuff here. But that's really kind of what set the stage for what happened next, because what we saw was essentially a small spinning top that I mentioned in yesterday's video. I talked about this one in yesterday's video, about how we were seeing indecision in the market right here. I talked about it right here, and then just a little while afterwards, we saw a massive indicator of indecision in the market. We saw Bitcoin break very bullish and then very bearish. And even though this is lopsided, this is what I would call a lopsided spinning top. It's slightly more bearish than it is bullish, but it is a form of spinning top, even though it's not even. Now, spinning tops, as we talk about in the candlestick analysis video down here, are very important. It is very important for them to have similarly length wicks, but that doesn't mean that when you see a massive top like this that it's not important. It is important. And this did show a lot of indecision in the market, which is part of the reason why Bitcoin kind of just traded sideways out of the level of resistance here. You could redraw this level of resistance however you want to do it, but the point is Bitcoin continued trading sideways for a little while. And when it did that, traded sideways, and eventually we started to see some bullishness right here. And we saw kind of a little pseudo breakout right here. Nothing major, and this is what's concerning me, is that Bitcoin did break bullish, but it didn't break very bullish. If we look here, Bitcoin broke about a 0.9% bullish. That's not a very large move, and that's actually not good for the bulls that Bitcoin only broke that bullish, because what this did is it went ahead and illustrated the fact that the bulls are not the ones that are just in overwhelming control. This illustrates the fact that the bulls are weak right now. Now, I'm not saying that the bears are strong by any means, but the bulls are not very strong right now. If the bulls were stronger, Bitcoin would be up here around $3,900, $4,000 right now, because we had a great consolidation pattern for Bitcoin to break bullish out of. We had the perfect runway for Bitcoin to either break very very bullish or very bearish, and Bitcoin decided to do neither. Bitcoin just kind of broke a little half-ass bullish, if you will. Excuse the language there, I apologize, but Bitcoin just barely broke bullish here, and it wasn't a whole lot, and it does tell you something about the strength of the bulls and the bears. That's why we talk about the strength of the bulls and the bears right down here. Gauging the strength of the bulls and the bears is very important to understand that. So, with all that out of the way, what does that all mean? Essentially, what we're looking at here is a market where Bitcoin is indecisive, and the bulls and the bears are locked in there, and neither of them are that strong. Both of them are locked because the bulls and the bears have a similar strength. That's what we're looking at here. So let's go ahead and look at some technical indicators to try and break the tiebreaker and get an idea of what Bitcoin is going to do. Because the thing that I'm concerned about is Bitcoin breaking bullish here, showing just how weak the bulls are, and then falling back over. And that's not the kind of thing that is unprecedented. We've seen that happen a lot. If we look back over here into January of 2018, January and December actually of January 2019, December of 2018. If you look back over here, it's not uncommon for Bitcoin to break a bullish out of a consolidation pattern, trade sideways, and then fall right back down below. That happened twice in a row on Bitcoin, actually. We saw Bitcoin break a bullish out of a consolidation pattern, and then Bitcoin traded sideways, and then fell right back below and ended up lower than where it began. This kind of thing happens a lot on Bitcoin and in cryptocurrency charts, actually. You see it on Ethereum sometimes. This does happen quite often, and that's kind of what I'm worried about happening right here, is since Bitcoin's bulls certainly don't have that much momentum because we haven't seen more of an uptrend, it's not unlikely that Bitcoin trades sideways for a day or two and then falls straight back down here. Now, I'm not trying to be a perma-bear because I am going to be talking about bullish scenarios later on, but I want to give you guys the technical analysis that you can use to implement in your own TA. I want to give you guys the information to go ahead and implement into your own technical analysis, so hopefully we can all be better at technical analysis and predicting what Bitcoin is going to do. So there is a decent chance, in my opinion, that Bitcoin trades sideways here and then actually goes bearish and falls back down below, because if you look here, we are in a general bearish trend in a slightly shorter term bullish trend. We're really just kind of mixed right now. Now, with all that said, there is one thing I want to point out, and that is that it is currently 9:16 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which means the East Coast of America is starting to wake up right now. I woke up a couple hours ago. Most people are not even up yet, and if they are up, they're probably drinking their coffee, watching the morning news, not doing anything. Whatever they're doing, a lot of people don't start trading until later. You guys know how traders are. When you work for yourself, you kind of make your own hours, and your own hours tend to start around like 11 o'clock. That's how it works for me anyway. And what we see here is that Bitcoin broke out here around 5 a.m. So there weren't a lot of people on exchange right now to go ahead and put a bunch of buy orders to push Bitcoin to the upside. So you have to keep that in mind. It was 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it was like 9 or 10 in the UK, maybe around noon in Germany. So not a whole lot of the West was actually awake when this breakout started. So there probably wasn't that much volume to go ahead and push Bitcoin to the upside. So what I like to do in these scenarios when a breakout happened overnight and no one was really awake to go ahead and pay attention to it, is I like to give it a couple hours. Give it 12 hours or so, let the day continue through, and then let that day decide what Bitcoin's going to do. It's very possible that America wakes up and the UK stops drinking their tea for 5 minutes, and we all start moving to the upside here a little bit in the next couple of hours when Bitcoin starts actually getting some people on exchange and people start realizing that Bitcoin broke bullish and they start buying Bitcoin. It's very possible that bullish momentum comes through in the next couple of days. The East Coast of America has like half of the population of America on it, so as the East Coast continues to wake up over the next couple of hours, really in between the time that I record this video and the video goes out around noon Eastern Standard Time, that is going to dictate a lot about what Bitcoin does today and on into the next couple of days. You can see over the last couple of minutes actually that Bitcoin has been moving slightly to the upside. Maybe that'll turn into something, maybe it won't. We'll see what happens there. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at some technical indicators, because I don't talk about the time portion of technical analysis a lot, but it is important because not all of cryptocurrency trading is done by bots. In fact, a lot of it is done by humans, a disproportionate amount compared to something like the stock market, where a lot of the stock market is dictated by bots. So seasonality and the time of the day, especially for markets like cryptocurrency, which are slightly more regional, or slightly less regional, excuse me, it's important to understand what time of day things are going on, which is why we always try and pay attention to that, even if I don't talk about it sometimes. One thing I also want to talk about are some technical indicators and show you guys what they're saying to give us an idea of where Bitcoin is going to go, because like I said, even though Bitcoin broke slightly bullish out here, we're still kind of in that deadlock between the bulls and the bears. We want to see which side is going to prevail here. Right now, we do see that the hourly MACD is bullish, and it's quite bullish at that. It's the most bullish that's been in the last couple of days. As we can see back over here on the 12th of March, it was slightly more bullish. The 11th of March, back over here, Bitcoin's histogram was slightly higher up here. But as you can see, over the last 3 days or so, this is the highest it's been. Bitcoin is going very bullish as Bitcoin breaks out here, so the MACD is very far apart. We are above the histogram line right now, that being this line right here, whereas the histogram was way, Bitcoin's MACD was way below the histogram when it started that uptrend back there. So that would indicate that Bitcoin has some short-term bullish momentum, but in the long term, if this gets too overextended, it's probably going to come back down. Keep that in mind. Also, one thing I want to talk about is that the stochastic RSI is sitting up here in overbought territories, but on the hourly chart, that is not the most important thing in the world. I don't look at stochastic RSI on the hourly that much. But as we start getting out to the 4-hourly and the daily chart, I do look at them a little bit more. The MACD is bullish on the 4-hourly. The RSI is moving to the upside. We're in overbought territory slightly. We're sitting around 60 right now, but that does actually indicate bullish momentum because, as you can see, Bitcoin has been moving upwards and been trending upwards over the last 4 days. And that is a rather good trend for Bitcoin, actually. When RSI is moving to the upside and hasn't gotten all the way there yet, that's typically a sign of bullish momentum. I mean, RSI is called a momentum oscillator for a reason. And in case you guys are wondering, we do have videos in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy on 2 of those 3 oscillators I use a lot, MACD and RSI. I don't have one on stochastic RSI, but that will be coming in the future, so watch out for that if you guys do get in the course. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about with stochastic RSI is that similar to RSI, stochastic RSI has been moving to the upside. Now, stochastic RSI is getting a lot closer to being in overbought territory. It's sitting up here around 80 to 85 right now. I'm not expecting this to fall over in the next little while, but it could happen, so watch out for stochastic RSI. I do want to point out the MACDs, though, because the MACDs are very powerful technical indicators. That's why they're one of the first ones up here. RSI is very important as well, but MACD is used by a lot of people, and especially on the shorter term time frames, I find it's very useful. If we look here on the daily chart, we're going to see that MACD is, in fact, bearish. But Bitcoin's MACD has started to curve up a little bit. You can see the histogram lines down here. One of them, the one for the 14th of March, is lower than the one recently. And what that means is we can see on the actual MACD itself right here is that MACD is closing in on itself. That means this blue line down here, the MACD line, is starting to close in on the signal line. And of course, if you guys have watched the video on CT2A, you'll know that the MACD line is the line that's calculated, and then the signal line is derived from the MACD by another calculation. That's what these numbers up here are for: 12, 26, close, and 6 and 9, excuse me. That's the way the MACD is calculated. And we want to see that bullish cross happen again on the daily chart, because if it does, and if all the stars align, and if we see a couple more things that I talk about happen, it's very possible that Bitcoin starts going very bullish. We want Bitcoin to go very bullish because, as I've talked about to exhaustion over the last couple of weeks, if Bitcoin does not go very bullish here and start moving to the upside again, I do not want to see Bitcoin come down and test this uptrend of support. I don't want to see it. Now, that's not to say it's not going to happen. I'm just saying that we do not want to see Bitcoin do that, because if it comes down here, there's a chance it's going to break in. There's a chance it's going to break the 200 weekly moving average. We've talked about that a lot. And what I want to see is for some of these technical indicators to start going even more bullish over the next 24 to 48 hours, see America wake up and start pushing Bitcoin to the upside and get some more bullish momentum. That's ideally what I want to see. And to be fair, I think there's a pretty decent chance that happens. I want to show you one more thing. And this is really the coup de grace of this video. I'm very happy with this technical indicator. So happy with it, in fact, that this subset of a technical indicator I made an entire video for in the CT2A. And in fact, it's the very last video in CT2A because it's such an important technical indicator, and that would be the 20 exponential moving average. You guys know how big of a fan I am of the 20 EMA, and it's come in to save us again. As you guys know, if you look back over here in 2018, we get some very strong signals from it. Whenever Bitcoin's below it, we're in a downtrend. When Bitcoin's above it, we're in an uptrend. It's a very good indicator of when a rally has begun and when a rally has ended and a new downtrend has started. It's a great indicator. It's good at giving support. It's good at giving bullish and bearish signals, and sometimes it does come in to save you at the last minute. And that's kind of what we're seeing right here. Bitcoin has been above the 20 exponential moving average ever since it broke bullish out of this descending wedge back over here in early February. It's been above that. We got support on it right here. It caught us. We got support on it right here. We fell below it briefly, but got back up above it. And now, interestingly enough, Bitcoin is sitting above it. This is very important because this means that Bitcoin hasn't initiated all of the bearish signals that it can to start moving it to the downside. This means that Bitcoin has not broken the 20 EMA, and this is honestly one of the most important indicators that I look at for determining whether or not Bitcoin has started a downtrend. And honestly, the kind of consolidation pattern that we were looking at yesterday did have to do with this uptrend, but it partially also had to do with this 20 exponential moving average pushing Bitcoin into this downtrend of resistance. Keep an eye out for that, because that does happen sometimes. Sometimes you'll see a consolidation pattern where one of the levels of support or resistance is not a trend line. Sometimes it'll be a moving average, and you have to look out for that. And that's kind of what we see happening here in hindsight, is that Bitcoin was also being pushed into this downtrend of resistance by the 20 EMA. Now, there's a very interesting thing going on with the 20 exponential moving average right now that could be a shift in market structure that we haven't seen in a couple of years. And I want to point this out. And that is that Bitcoin has been kind of just riding on top of the 20 exponential moving average for a while. You see how Bitcoin has just kind of been coming down and testing support on it quite a bit over the last month and a half or so. We haven't actually seen the 20 exponential moving average act like that in quite some time, because, of course, the way that I divide the chart up is actually if you're above the 20 EMA, if you're in this area up here, if you're in this area right up here, this area up here is bullish if you're above the 20 EMA, and if you're in this area down here, this area below the 20 EMA is bearish. That's a general way to define the chart. Of course, there's a lot more TA that goes into it than that, but that's a general way I'd like to divide it up. And the fact that Bitcoin has stayed above this 20 exponential moving average, and it's been helping to push us up over the last couple of days, over the last couple of weeks really, is very intriguing, because we haven't seen that happen. Even back over here in September and October of 2018, Bitcoin was trading around the 20 exponential moving average and slightly more below it. If we look here, Bitcoin was not sitting on top of the 20 exponential moving average. The 20 exponential moving average was sitting on top of Bitcoin. It was not the same thing, because Bitcoin was more bearish back then. We have not seen Bitcoin do this except for the time that it's been in an uptrend. And even though Bitcoin is slightly moving to the upside right now, I wouldn't exactly call what we're looking at right here an uptrend. Bitcoin, nevertheless, though, has been sitting on top of that 20 EMA, and that could be a sign of long-term bullishness, because Bitcoin hasn't done that in a long time. You'd have to look back into the last bull market to see Bitcoin doing that, where it sits above the 20 EMA, even though it's not really in a state of rallying. It's because Bitcoin is moving to the upside ever so slightly. It's kind of got this really long, slow rally going on, rather than a proper rally like we would have seen in 2017 and 2018. Interesting stuff here. We're going to keep an eye on this kind of trend, because this might be indicative of something larger to come. But for the short term anyway, it is good for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has not broken one of the most important technical indicators that I personally look at for determining whether or not Bitcoin is in an uptrend or a downtrend, or if it's trading neutrally. Right now, Bitcoin, I would say, is trading neutrally, is trading a bit neutral with a slight bullish tint to it, a slight bullish tinge to it. Now, with all that said, what does that actually mean for Bitcoin, and why do I put so much emphasis on the 20 exponential moving average? Well, the reason I do all this, and the reason I talk about the 20 EMA, is because if Bitcoin comes down here, and the reason I also said that this might be one of the last chances for Bitcoin, is because if Bitcoin comes down here, breaks the 20 exponential moving average, breaks this uptrend of support, has bearish momentum in a bearish breakout on the hourly chart and the 4-hourly chart, if Bitcoin does that, guys, that's going to be very bad for Bitcoin. Let me explain why. Because if Bitcoin comes down here, that 20 EMA is running right around there somewhere. If Bitcoin comes down here and breaks below this, and comes down here, breaks that 20 EMA, breaks this uptrend of support, and gets momentum and starts moving to the downside, that snowball is going to start picking up speed. It's going to start picking up more snow. It's going to pick up momentum, and that's what we're worried about. I do not want the bearishness for Bitcoin to start picking up momentum. We don't want to see Bitcoin start moving to the downside and come down here and test this uptrend of support. Because like I've told you guys before, testing this uptrend of support is very, very risky business, and it's not a business deal that I want to have. That would be one of the worst business deals in the history of business deals, and I don't want to see Bitcoin do that. I do not want to see Bitcoin come down here, test this uptrend of support, because if it does it, there's a half-decent chance that Bitcoin's going to break it, guys, especially if Bitcoin comes down here and tests it with momentum. I don't want to see that happen, which is why I've been saying this, because even though it might not be the most likely outcome that Bitcoin breaks this, I can bet my bottom dollar, and I am through my trades, if Bitcoin breaks this downtrend of support, this uptrend of support, it could be catastrophic for Bitcoin, because it could see Bitcoin break that 200 weekly moving average. Remember, guys, that 200 weekly moving average is not far below that level of support. If we look right over here, it's literally right below it. It's not far below it. It is right there. If we come down here and we test it, we are probably going to break this, and that's the kind of thing that we've never seen happen in Bitcoin, and that completely invalidates half of the long-term technical analysis that we've been doing for the last several months. That could be very bad for Bitcoin, and there's a decent chance that it happens still. So that's why I'm putting so much emphasis on this tiny little consolidation pattern that Bitcoin is in that may seem insignificant, but we're talking about a domino effect right here. If Bitcoin falls over and starts moving to the downside, then that could be bad, because Bitcoin could start moving down here, down to this uptrend of support. And if Bitcoin breaks that, we could, and probably will, break the 20 exponential, the 200 weekly moving average. We don't want to see those things happen. The likelihood of all three of those things happening is moderately low, but it is there. We want to be careful of that, and we want to keep our eye on it. It's very important that we do so that we can be prepared in the short term and in the long term. Anyway, guys, this video went on a lot longer than I thought it was going to, so tell me in the comment section down below what you think of today's video. Guys, remember, we have about 24 hours left on the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy sale. That link is in the description down below. CT2A March, you can check and copy-paste that coupon code down there for 20% off the course price. This will be active for another 24 hours or so when this video goes live. This video will probably be going live around 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that coupon code will be lasting until noon Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So if you guys have been looking forward to jumping into CT2A, I do recommend doing it in the next 24 hours or so, or you can wait until the sale's over and pay full price. I'm okay with that, but you know, that's your deal. If you guys want to do that, then I'm more than happy to let you, but of course, you know, I'm messing with you guys. Make sure you take advantage of that coupon code. I don't want you guys spending more money than you have to. But anyway, guys, I am very happy with the depth charts and stop limit chart. This is actually the first video of the 5-video batch that we've just uploaded to the course that I recorded, and I'm very happy with it. It's a continuation to the video on how to set up and use Binance. That's a long video and an in-depth video where I talk about all the nuance of Binance, because if you guys are new to cryptocurrency, then you'll probably know that getting on an exchange and trying to work with an exchange for the first time, it can be daunting. It can be complicated. Just look at the order books right here on the trading screen right here on Binance. This can be a little daunting. If you don't know what all these buttons do, it can be a little concerning. So I try to go through it, and I think I do a pretty good job of running through Binance and showing you guys exactly how to use it. And everything I talk about in Binance is also applicable to another exchange if you want, because many of them are set up similarly, guys. Of 25 videos, 8.5 hours of content, a very fair refund policy, and hundreds of people that have gone through the course, and all of them are very happy with it. All the people that have been joining the course with this coupon code are emailing me and telling me how much they enjoy it. If you go to the community tab, then you'll see a screenshot of someone named Vitor who joined the Discord server yesterday and was telling me about how he joined the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, and he is very, very happy with it. He's learning a lot. You can go and see that coupon. You can go and see that comment, excuse me, on the community tab for Bitcoin. But anyway, the community tab for the Crypto Jeb YouTube channel, not for Bitcoin. I didn't know Bitcoin had a community tab. Anyway, guys, to go ahead and wrap this up, I want to go ahead and wrap up this 5-day little promotion that we've had going on for CT2A with something fun. You guys know that I've been doing a little thing at the end of the videos where I tell you to put something in the comment section down below. And I didn't even think about this, but someone in the comments yesterday said, "Oh, well, Jeb, you're just doing that for engagement on your video because it helps you rank the video with your SEO." And, well, I mean, it does help a little bit, but it's negligible at best. The reason that I'm doing this is to give you guys a bit of a treat for sitting through me talking about CT2A, because I know some of you guys, you're already in CT2A or you're simply not interested in CT2A and you want me to shut up, which, by the way, we're not going to be talking about it anymore for a little while starting tomorrow, which is why I'm encouraging you guys to go ahead and get in. But I do want to go ahead and do one last of these little, put something in the comment section down below. What I want you guys to do, and this is going to be the coup de grace. I'll put one of my favorites in the comment section down below also. I want you to put the quote from a movie in the comment section down below. Put the quote from a movie that you love in the comment section down below. I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. I love making references. You guys have probably heard me make like a 42 reference before or something, or a Pirates of the Caribbean reference before or something like that. So go ahead and put a quote in the comment section down below. If you want to be a little sneaky, a little cheeky, you can kind of bury it into another comment and see if people will catch it. That would be funny. Anyway, guys, I do hope you did enjoy this video, and I do hope you do enjoy the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy if you do decide to join. Of course, guys, if you don't like the course, there's a full refund policy. I'll give it back to you, no questions asked. I'll give you every single penny back. I might keep 1 penny just out of spite. No, I'm kidding, of course. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.